Anyone there?
Good morning, Rabbi Sai. We're holding today in Chulin Daf Ayin. We're going to start in Samechtes Amud Beis in the Mishnah. Zog the Heilige Mishnah. Hamevakeres hamaksho leilit. Our animal was giving birth firstborn. What's that thing when we have a firstborn coming out? It has a gedusha of a bechor. Now she's about to give birth. In other words, it's not coming out so smoothly. So there's some time gap between the beginning of the birth until it comes out. In the meantime, mechatech aver umashich laklovim. You can cut, you cut limb by limb out of the fetus and throw it away. Why? It doesn't have gedusha until it comes out. So right now it's in the doorway. There is a vlad coming out. There's a fetus coming out, but it didn't come out yet. So you can cut it and throw it away. Yatzaruboy, once the majority of this animal came out, now it has the gedusha of bechor. You have to bury it. And if teres me play now this animal is going to be they had already a baby who's the bechor. The next baby is not a bechor. Good. Zog the Gemara itva. Yatza shlish u'mocha lo yikachavim. A third of the animal came out, and he sold it to a guy. Because of Yatza shlish achir. Now comes another shlish. So by now the majority came out. So the animal starts to come out. The bechor. First third, it's not bechor yet. In order to be kaddish, you have to be roiv of the fetus coming out. So only a portion came out. Good. Now the portion came out, and he sold it to a guy. If a guy is the owner, there's no bechor. Bechor is only the owner is Jewish. He sold it after the fact, but before the roiv came out. Then the roiv came out. Now what? Ravuna Amar Kodesh, Rabba Amar Kodesh. If this animal has the kedusha or not. Ravuna Amar Kodesh, Kasov Mafreya Kodesh. Buddha says, when the bechor comes out majority, lemafreya means retroactively it's kodesh for the get-go. So this animal's coming out. Boom, 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 boom. A third. He sells it to a guy. Boom, 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 boom. 2/3. It's kodesh to bechor. So the sale to the guy did not work. You can't sell to a guy so bechor. So retroactively there's no sale. Rabba Omar ain't a kodesh. Savar mikamil haba kodesh. Your kodesh only going forward. My dissolving, shav dissolving. What he sold is good sold.
Why does it have to be a third? Just curious.
No, I mean less than right.
Okay.
In other words, what's the machlekes? Is the bechor kodesh retroactively from the beginning, or the bechor becomes kodesh only once the majority comes out? Very similar machlekes. What happens if a third of the animal came out non-natural? A third came out. Rashi says they sam basically meets cesarean. They opened the womb, and third came out. The other 2/3 came out naturally. So shlish derech doifet, shnei shlish derech rechel. V'noma eino kodesh. Why? Same story. Because it's retroactively. Retroactively, you start from the beginning. The first third was not naturally, and a bechor is only when it's born naturally. Rabbi Omar Kodesh. More explained. He also works retroactively, meaning from the time the birth began. And the first majority was not in the womb because the first third came out cesarean. Rabbi Omar Kodesh. Rabbi the time of the Omar become the Haba Kodesh. He ought to become Kodesh going forward. In other words, what determines a bechor to bechor? The start until rife, or whenever you get to rife, then it becomes kodesh. So here, did you have rife in the rechem? The answer is yes. You had rife in the rechem. Now, even though you had rife in the rechem, but it was rife came later. So you didn't go retroactive in the beginning. You didn't have a rife bechor. If you don't come retroactively, then you do it. Second one, it's tzricha. Why do you need both machlekes? You tell me Does it go retroactively or not? That's what we're talking about. Ravuna says you go retroactively because you want to see kula. That's not kaddish. However, after the chumrah, the first case, there's going the chumrah. Do you say you can't sell to a guy because retroactive becomes kaddish? Maybe they're these rabbi. And now daf ein and daf all the dervies or beho call my rabbi. How they are more than Ravuna? Maybe Rabbi said only the kula, the churmanat. In other words, I have two machlekes. They both go the churman and the kula. It's not just say you see I'm yisofik is not kaddish. What's the churman and the kula? The churman and the kula is that the churman and the kula is. I see guys wearing sunglasses, so you're able to look at the Gemara without Tesla catching it. Very good. Yeah, you found the tricks. Exactly. So so what's it called? The chumrah? Do you go retroactively from the beginning? So then the kula, if you sold to a guy, it's not sold. That's the chumrah. The kula, what's the kula? That the rive, it doesn't depend in the beginning. It depends on where you have the rive is. Same thing the opposite. You say they both agree in the same point. Says what Tadan, I'm the Keres, I'm actually look at our Mishnah. So what do we say? He's giving birth slowly. You cut out limbs and throw it to the dog. Surely one understands what does it mean? He cuts a hand. What does he do with it? What's it down? He cuts another hand. What's it down? He cuts a leg. Puts it down. Cuts another leg. Puts it down. Oh, I have majority of the animal over here. Right? Yeah. I said you throw it to the dogs. It's kaddish retroactively. You covering by lay to bury it as kedusha. Once you reach rive, it's kaddish. Limit freya. So I can give it to the dogs. So well, look. Well, the case of the Mishnah is he's cutting the animal and throwing it away. Give it to the dog. Cuts a hand. There's no kedusha. Gives it to the dog. Another hand. Gives it to the dog. Another leg gives it to the dog. So you never, when you get to the rive, you already gave it to the dog whatever you give. So even though you go retroactively, it's too late. And what about the fact that he caused it to give it to the dog? We're not worried about that. It's not awesome. Says the Gemara, oh. So what tell me if you leave it, so then you will have a problem of being retroactively kaddish. How the Tana say? Look at the next part of the Mishnah. Yotza Ruby Kover, Penif Termin Abchayro, once came out Roiv. Your pot to Abchayro, leave the Benidi day, come and Mechalik and think itself. Medra Moim Mechatuchum Ashlich. Ever. Alan Mechatuchum Niachi Kover. You should tell me that difference. Depends what you did with the limbs. If you gave it to the dog right away, you're fine. You didn't give it to the dog as Kedusha. Why tell me only when it came out fully then it's as Kedusha? So well, you're right. That's what it means. Akanami. We say it as a chas come. Only if he let it, if you threw it away. Meaning, it doesn't matter if it came roiv of asachas or it came slowly. Once you get to roiv, it retroactively it's kaddish. Okay, next. That's the first sugya. Next sugya. Do you focus on the majority of the limb? He says, well, what do you mean? Maybe. I have like this. I have right now the animal, 2 hands came out, 2 legs came out, and together they are 50%. Now a half an ear came out. And I have a quarter of an ear. Now it's Roiv, 51%. So Shaila is, what was going to say the Shaila? Do I allow the ear to come? It's a quarter. Or you say, no, the ear belongs, most of the ear is inside. So this little third of the ear stays inside. So I don't have a right. It's not Kodesh of Chayim. That's what it's saying. Let's see inside. What's the case? The majority of the animal came out with a minority of the ear. That little minority of the ear. Do you go based on the ear which is inside? Majority is inside. Or you go based on the majority of the animal. Most of the animals outside. Either do you bring it outside, make it a roiv outside, or you go based on the ear? You go based on the aver or not. So what pshita the loy shevkin ruba de ubor, vazim bosa ruba de. And it's pashut. If I have to choose where the quarter of the ear goes, based on the animal at large, or based on the ear, you go based on the animal, or it trumps it. So what's the case? Ela kegoy, very very convoluted case, but ela kegoy, sheyatzo chetzyoy beroiv aver. That's what happened. You have 2 legs, 2 feet, 2/3 of an ear. That's 50%. Exactly 50%. Do you say that the third of the ear is considered to be outside? Because 2/3 are outside. So the 30 inside goes outside. I have, right? That's what we're asking. Yotza chetzyoy, half of that came out, but one of the parts that came out is roiv aver. That minority inside, they say goes out or not. Cover. It says in our Mishnah that the majority went out, you bury it. That is Kedusha. My rubo. It'll be roiv mamish, be the majority of the animal. What's the Kiddush? Of course, the majority of the animal makes a Kiddush. That's our case. It's a majority, but we don't really have a majority. At 50%, but I need to take the minority of the limb to make it roiv. Look, going back to the first case. Meaning the majority came out, but part of the majority is 1/3 of an ear. I would think that 1/3 of the ear will go back in. The Chiddush is not, as we said before, it's Torah Pashut. One sentiment, you can tell me that. Interesting. Okay, that's sugya number 2. Sugya number 3. So we learned over here that when the fetus comes out, the majority out of the animal, it becomes kodesh b'chor. The shayla now the Gemara is going to bring what is considered to be coming out of the womb, and what's clear to the Gemara that it's going to is a fetus coming out of the door of the womb. What happens if the fetus is covered with reed? Reed. Come out. It's not coming out purely out of the womb. And there's a chatzitza between the fetus and the womb. The talisima, about his clothing. The shepherd took his handkerchief, put it inside, and the animal comes out in the handkerchief. What happens in its placenta? So that's the normal way to come out. That's anything. There was another baby, a different animal. They took the bag, the placenta of the other animal, put this animal into this placenta, took it out. Is that considered to be natural? It's considered to be chatzitza. What does it mean? Rashi explains that a woman giving birth holds on to the fetus and pushes it out with her hands. So she's covered with the hands. So what's the question? The exact same question. It's covered. What's the Kiddush? What are you asking? Why suddenly talk about a woman? Until now we spoke about a shepherd. So it says today's Dev Shot. Character means there was a twin in the womb of the mother. There's a boy and a girl. The boy is a part, the girl is not. The girl covered the boy, the male, is wrapped by the sister. Rather than the sister. What's the question? If he came through his head, padarti, it became chor. According to Rashi, means too late to cover it. So sometimes maybe covered before he came through. But according to this, it means if the head of the male is stuck in the legs of the girl and the girl comes out first, she's the chor, not he. They're coming out from the feet, and the head is covered. Another question. Sorry. Got it? A weasel swallowed the fetus. What happens then? It's also affected. What do you mean? Take it out. That's exactly the case of the reed. It's covered. Listen what happened. A weasel came into the womb, swallowed the fetus. Went out. Went back in. And he spit it out. And now it's back in the womb.
How do we know all this happened?
We saw. But it's back in the womb, but it's not naturally back in the womb.
Crazy stuff.
Right? Naturally. Another case. Two wombs are connected together, and the baby went out from one womb to another, and then came out from the second womb. So he didn't come on from his own natural womb. Did they potter? Maybe the Peter Rechem is only its own womb, not somebody else. All these crazy questions, take it. What happens if the walls of the womb opened up? Do you have to have the baby coming out of the doors or coming out from the area? What happens if the walls fell off? When he's not there, so what's this discussion? And what does it mean? You need to have either the door or the airspace. Here you have nothing. Says and when the doors of the womb were pulled off, now it's stuck in the neck of the womb of the baby. Is that normal or not? In its place, it's called the Shlanat. But how many of you have is always the one who asks the interesting questions. Rashi says that the width of the wall of the womb got cut off, and now it's thinner. Now, is that going to be the womb or not? This addresses the question that we discussed. What's the question that we discussed? You have a womb and it's completely closed, but there's one area which has open. There's a wall fell off, and the baby went through the womb, through that opening. Do you say Rubik it closed, considered to be that was closed, it came in from a closed area, or not? Similar to the opposite. There's more holes than walls, so it's going to be open. But it came out through the wall. Do you say it's considered to be open or not? Not coming by another part. That's only if you have a wall. Shaila is the wall working out. But if the wall itself is missing, that doesn't work. So we had many, many strange, interesting questions regarding the B'chor, what determines the B'chor. Okay. Come to Mishnah that Ayin with base.
Leave off with like a taker.
Yeah. So the last question we answered. If Nigrimu, so to Mishnah. You have an animal, and you have a fetus inside the animal that died. What's the question? I'll give you two more. We have a din that inside the animal there's no tumor. A shepherd put his hand into the womb, into the dead fetus. There's no tumor in the fetus, even a baby tamei. No, depends. If it's an animal just tamei, the fetus causes tumor. If the animal is tar, the fetus is not called tumor. Say what? If it's tumor, if Tasha Nedela, let's go to the mikveh. He has a tumor Nedela. Right? Say what? My time of telekama. What's the reason telekama? There's no tumor inside. When you shecht a animal and you find a fetus inside, even though it's dead, you can eat it. So if you can eat it, of course, that causes tumor. What's it? Dead fetus inside the animal. Regular animal. Not toiru. Of course, toiru. Say, well, Ashkot be'ema toiru. It's good, toiru. Here at Tviyah Minol. How do you know be'ema toiru? You can't eat. Because if animal dies, so be'ema toiru. Asher lechem lo'ochlo. You can eat it. Zoi be'ema toiru. Eat kosh be'ema toiru, be'ema toiru. Have a heckish between the two. Ma be'ema toiru bar tar. Be'ema toiru bar tar. It's heckish. Just gossip. Torah says it. Basically, that's the sheet of Tanakam. Every segli, my time, what's the reason every segli? Omar Yitzchak lo makol v'chol hoylech al kapov v'kol achayo holechet al haaretz. So walking on their hands, that's really a chayo. That's a beim she'er Torah. Doesn't have split hooves, so it has hands. So it says ma'achei kapah. It says kol holechet al kapov v'kol achayo. So the simple understanding of the words are any walking animal from any animal. But it says b'chol achayo yudashin inside a chayo, meaning the womb of a chayo. Meaning anybody in the womb of a chayo is tummy. Behemoth in the womb of a behemoth. Stop. Kapayim means doesn't have split hooves, has only legs. Elamat, as the Gemara, according to you, the ma'achei kapayim means doesn't have split hooves. You have an animal who doesn't have split hooves, born in the womb of a cow. We spoke about it in the last 2 days. Litame shemik tumo. That doesn't have split hooves. Kapayim means hands, and it's in the womb of a living animal. Says the Gemara, No. The term is very specific. I have a Talmudic animal that has only 4 legs, and that Talmudic animal has only 4 legs. But when I have a kolud b'mei paro, I have an animal that has only 4 legs. And inside the animal, a cow that has how many legs?
2.
8. What do you mean 8? Because every leg is split into 2 because of 2 hooves. That's what calls the shmoin. It's not machikavai. So it's a 4 within 8. Says the Gemara, what about the case of parva mei gomo? The opposite case. You have a cow, meaning split hooves, in the womb of a camel. You say it has to be 4 legs. Here you have 8 legs. The v'chol to add anybody who has split hooves, anyone who's in a tameh gets to. What happens if the mother doesn't have split hooves and the child doesn't have split hooves, but they are cows? According to you, that complies with the din of the Torah. Torah said 4 legs and 4 legs. Says the Gemara, if you can eat it, kosher can so that he agrees. So the guy with being Torah, even if it doesn't have split hooves, if it's star medina, so it doesn't cost tuma that we know. Depends on you the pesuk. Says the Gemara, maski flora of a chadavoy ba'ami. So chadavoy ba'ami asked, chazir b'mei chazir also. What's unique about a chazir? It does have split hooves. So I have a chazir, a pig, that has split hooves. In the wombs of the mother, split hooves. They're all have split hooves. If you're learning from the legs, here you have the 8 legs by 8 legs. It's 8 by 8. Hello, so it says to learn from that person we can, because according to you, it all depends on the number of legs. And if so, you get stuck with a chazir and a chazir. So what's the limit? How do I know that a behemoth tmeyo in the womb of a behemoth tmeyo causes tumah if she died according to this mandama? It says nefesh kisidika b'chol tomeh. Nefesh touches something tomeh. Or benivlas chaya tmeyo. Or touched a dead. What is that? How do you say in English? Carcass. A carcass of behemoth tmeyo. Or benivlas behemoth tmeyo. Or carcass of a behemoth tmeyo. Or benivlas shared tomeh. Right. So it says when a tomeh touches the carcass of behemoth tmeyo, then by behemoth tmeyo. Carcass causes tumor. Doesn't matter if it's a cow or a pig. That's what I asked. Why are you speaking about tmeyo? That's what it tells you. That's the book. It tells you sometimes a carcass of a tmeyo will be tome, and a carcass of Torah will be Torah. What will be the case? You have dead animal causes tumor in the womb of the mother. In the womb of the mother, the carcass of Torah is Torah. Torah, gewaldig. So why do I need the pasuk that we said before? The legs and the legs. Without Rav Yitzchok, I would learn a different drush from this pasuk. We're going to learn it tomorrow's daf. Drush of Rebbe. Rebbe has a drush. We're going to get to drush. So I would think the only thing you learn is from that drush. Once I have Rav Yitzchok tells you, So the Torah is addressing a Behemoth Tmeyo within a Behemoth Tmeyo. Once I know that, so now I'm saying, okay, so let me dash in the second pasuk as well that way. So we just brought the source in the pasuk of the Machlekes. Dead Behemoth Torah in the womb of a Behemoth Torah is not physical costume. You can either eat it. A dead Behemoth Tmeyo in a womb of Behemoth Tmeyo, Machlekes. It's Machlekes.
We don't learn it out from the pasuk about feet. We learn it out from this pasuk
about that says a dead carcass, a carcass of behemoth tmei. The fact in the future, behemoth tmei is because of that. Very good advice. We'll stop over here. There's a new suit goes into the next stuff, and that will be learned tomorrow. Everybody should have a wonderful, wonderful day. Call to God with the sunglasses.
Skaya.